Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to another video on my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jordan, so happy to have you, and today is a very exciting video because I'm finally going to be revealing the details about my upcoming contract. If you're new here and you're confused what I'm talking about, I work on a cruise ship. I am one of the performers on board, so I am a figure skater and I work for Royal Caribbean. And I have done 2 contracts with the company so far. So my first contract was on the Allure of the Seas back in 2019, pre-pandemic, and my second was on board the Adventure of the Seas, which was a 9-month contract. Of course, I have decided to return for another contract, and I'm so excited to finally share the news. I've already mentioned that I am doing a 3rd contract with the company, but I haven't really revealed any details, and I feel like now is the perfect time to share with you because you guys want to know, and it's coming up much faster than I anticipated. So yeah, so I had you guys send in any questions you want to know regarding this contract on my YouTube community tab, and I also do a lot of polls and submissions for Q&As on my Instagram, so if you're not already following me on there, make sure to do so you don't miss out on any upcoming Q&As. But if you're not already subscribed, make sure to do so because I have a ton of exciting life at sea content on my channel and so much more to come. You have no idea. So make sure to subscribe, and without further ado, let's get on into this video. So the burning question that everyone wants to know is what ship I'm headed to next. So I am so excited to announce that I am headed to Voyager of the Seas for my 3rd contract. So Voyager is actually the first of its class, so it's a Voyager class ship, and Adventure, my previous contract, was also the same class ship, so the same exact size and same exact layout. So I'm so excited to be heading to Voyager. I already know my solo for the show, which I'm really excited to perform. I learned it and actually auditioned it for my boss. So I learned the solo, recorded a video, and sent it in. And I truly believe not only did I work hard for this contract, I manifested this contract because I have been manifesting a European itinerary for over a year now, and Voyager is going to have the most amazing itinerary. It is a European itinerary, exactly what I wanted, and the ports are unbelievable. So I am so stoked. I cannot even wait, and I cannot wait to document all the traveling that we will be doing. God willing, we can get off freely and go into the port and explore as much as we want freely. My last contract I had 0 shore leave, so I only got off a number of times, whether it was a shore excursion as a crew observer or a crew tour that they put together. We only had a few of those in Cozumel, so in total I probably only got off of the ship 15 times in 9 months. Not including Coco Cay, but again, Coco Cay is just an extension of the ship, so it kind of still feels like you're on a cruise ship, and it is man-made land. It's a little island, and yeah, you're still kind of on watch. But I'm so excited to be back in Europe, and this is more of a Scandinavian itinerary, which I've never been to that part of Europe. So let me just pull up the itinerary and read some of the ports for you because it's unfrickin' real. So, to start it off, Barcelona, Gibraltar, UK, Lisbon, Portugal, Amsterdam, Holland, Copenhagen, Denmark, Oslo, Norway, Skagen, Denmark, Aarhus, Denmark, and again Copenhagen, Stockholm, Sweden, Tallinn, Estonia, St. Petersburg, Russia, Helsinki, Finland, Riga, Latvia, and then mid-contract we are doing a transatlantic crossing, and on the way back over to the US, we will be stopping at Iceland and Greenland, which I I can't believe it's been on my bucket list for my entire life. It feels almost unreal. And then to finish off the contract, we will be going around Canada. So we'll be going to Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, and I believe our home port will then change to Boston, Massachusetts, which is freaking so cool. I am thrilled to say the least, and I cannot wait to bring you guys along for the journey. But I'm gonna return to some of the questions you guys have about more details, just because if I keep talking, it'll probably answer your questions, but I want to make sure I get to all of them. Will any of your current/former castmates be on board the next contract? Is it a similar ship? Will you have to do the same quarantine before you start? First things first, castmates. So I actually already know majority of the cast going. Believe it or not, about half of the cast on Adventure is headed to Voyager together, which is gonna be so much fun because, like I've said before, I love the cast on Adventure. And also my previous ice captain from my first contract, Michael, will be joining us as well. So it's gonna be a really great cast. I can't wait. I mean, it's bound to happen to have similar people in future contracts because the skating world is pretty small, but to have half of a cast go to the next contract together is not as common. It does happen, but it's not as common. So like I said, it is a similar ship to Adventure. It's the same class ship. It is a Voyager class, but I believe Voyager had an amplification a couple years ago, and I believe it just went into dry dock this past year. So I think it's more renovated than Adventure is. So it'll be exciting and interesting to see the differences between the ships. The crew areas usually look pretty much the same on every single ship. They don't put in more upgrades to those parts of the ship, but the guest areas should look a little different, and I'm excited to explore. As far as quarantine goes, we will have to go through the same quarantine that I did on board Adventure. It is a return to service ship, which means it has not been in service since before it shut down in 2020. So no guests have cruised on Voyager since. That means that we will do the same process we did on Adventure. So it's kind of exciting to be part of the first ice cast back in the entire fleet to return to service, and also the final ship, which is, it's kind of cool. I think so, at least. So we will do a 14-day quarantine once we sign on, and we are signing on in Cyprus. I believe we'll have guest cabins, we'll have balconies, hopefully, so we have some fresh air. That might change as time goes on, I'm not sure, but as of right now, we will have a 14-day quarantine and no guests will be on board, and then we will proceed with installing, and there's going to be stress testing around the ship and preparing the ship for the guests to come. The guests aren't going to come for a while. I believe the first revenue cruise is the end of April. Which leads me to my next question. How long are you taking off in between contracts? My sign-off date for Adventure is January 26, 2022, and my sign-on date for Voyager is February 28th, 2022, so I have almost exactly a month at home, which, call me crazy, but personally I think that'll be a perfect amount of time to regroup, reset, and go back to work. I just know myself, and as much as I can keep myself busy with different projects, I know that I'm going to be itching to go back to work after about a month. So for me, I feel like this is the perfect amount of time at home to spend with my family and my friends and break in my new skates and then head back to work. Right now, this contract is supposed to be 8 months long, so about 2 months without guests, which includes quarantine period and install. But again, that might change because on Adventure I was supposed to have a 10-month contract and it switched to a 9-month. So it could be extended, it could be shortened, who knows. But as of right now, it is 8 months and I'll be there until October of 2022. Will you finally get a cabin alone and will it have a window? So that probably will never happen. Skaters do not get their own cabin, unfortunately. We have roommates, but again, like I said, it doesn't really bother me to have a roommate. The only way that an IceCast member can have a window or a porthole if you will, is if you are ice captain, and I'm not requesting to be ice captain for this next contract. So yeah, I will have a roommate. It'd still be the same setup that I have on my 2 previous contracts. How do you make the decision on when, if to switch ships, and then what factors make you choose the ship? You don't get 100% say in what ship you're headed to. You can of course request a ship, and you can audition for a solo on that particular ship, but there's no guarantee if you will get it. It's up to our boss's discretion. Personally, it doesn't matter what ship I'm on because every single show is different, and I just love to skate, so whatever show I'm performing I'm happy with. However, I did really want a Europe itinerary, so that is the reason why I requested for Voyager. Luckily, the cards fell into place and I received this contract. But that is the case just for the IceCast members. I don't know how it goes for the rest of the positions on board or even the production cast. I believe they can also request, but I'm not fully knowledgeable on that, so I'm only speaking on my experience. Will your boyfriend be on the same ship? As of right now, we are working out the details. He should be on the ship with me. It's not 100% confirmed yet, but it's looking pretty promising, so we will see what happens. But as of right now, we have no confirmation if he will be there or not. But worst case, if he does not receive the same ship, he can always request to be transferred from one ship to another. And we're also in the process of registering as a couple, so if we are able to register, then we'll always be sent to the same ship and we won't have to go through the same process in the future. We're just sorting out the details, but most likely, yes, he will be there with me. What's the biggest difference for you between doing a contract on Oasis class ship and a Voyager class? As you may or may not know, Oasis class is the largest class of ships in the Royal Caribbean fleet, and the Voyager class is the smallest class of ship that I can particularly work on because not every single class of ship has a Studio B. So I went from the largest ship to the smallest ship for me, and I honestly loved both experiences. There is a ton of differences though because the sizing is just uncomparable. I do love the aspect of a smaller ship in the sense that you know every single person that works on board. Very quickly you learn everyone's faces, and not only learn everyone's faces, but you know everyone's name. Whereas on a big ship, there's so many crew members, you think you might know a familiar face, but there's just too many to actually get to know everyone. So in that sense, I feel like it's a more family-oriented feel on board. The crew cabins are exactly the same, so it makes no difference. The only difference is that the smaller ships are usually older, so the crew cabins might be a little bit more outdated as far as colors and carpets and things like that, so it might look a little bit older, but the setup is exactly the same and the amenities are the same. For me, all of the guest areas on every ship are gorgeous and beautiful, and also if the ship gets an amplification, it does look more modernized, so to me it doesn't make so much of a difference. I do prefer the promenade on the Oasis class because it is larger, and for me there's more shopping to be done. But I like both class of ships, and like I said before, it doesn't really make too much of a difference to me which ship I'm on. Another really frequently asked question is regarding COVID and what's happening on board and just sort of what it means for future plans. So this next question asks, are you worried that with the recent COVID outbreaks on ships that your next contract will be canceled or postponed? Honestly, I'm not very concerned about it. Yes, COVID is around us and the new Omicron variant is very, very contagious, so it's spreading like wildfire. However, I'm not so worried about the cruise line shutting down just because we have vaccines, we have tests, and we know more how to deal with this sort of thing. And I also don't think that the cruise industry can survive with a whole shutdown again. And I honestly don't think it will affect Voyager in any way because we aren't even scheduled to cruise with passengers until almost May of 2022. So yes, I am going before then, but it'll be just crew members on board. We'll do a 14-day quarantine, and we have 2 months before guests come on. So even if we were to have to push it back a week or 2 weeks, it won't really affect us, I don't believe. And I don't want to stress out in the meantime. I'm just staying optimistic. My final question is, what are you most excited about? So I honestly am excited for the travel. Well, it's a toss-up between the travel and seeing my boyfriend again, because we've been doing over 3 months of long distance. He's been home in Russia, so I cannot wait to see him. This contract means that I get to be reunited with him. But of course, I am so excited about the travel and getting to see all different parts of the world, places that I've never been to. So yeah, I'm really excited to experience some new places, new cultures, and just make some new memories. And of course, I am so thrilled to be performing a new show. So the ice show on board Voyager is called Ice Odyssey, and there is a secondary show, and it's called Blades, so it's kind of like an ice skate. It's the original ice skate if you've been on any of the newer ships like Symphony or Harmony. But I feel like I've covered most of the bases when it comes to details about this contract. I will be, of course, vlogging the entire process of preparing for the contract, heading to the contract, and all of that jazz. But I wanted to just announce this to you guys, share this information, and give you the deets because I know you guys want to know. But I really hope you guys subscribe and stick around for the upcoming adventures because you don't want to miss out. And yeah, I love you guys to the moon and back. Thank you for all your support always. I hope you guys are as excited as I am because I could not be more eager to go. I cannot wait to bring you guys along and document everything. But for now, I'm gonna wrap up this video. So thank you again for watching. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.